because today is a dark day. Yeah, man. Yesterday was interesting for a black person, for a white person, for a Hispanic, for an Asian, for a French, for a German. It doesn't really matter. Yesterday was interesting, and a couple things always go through your mind when stuff like that happens. One thing is, God, I cannot imagine how we must look to other countries. I cannot imagine what they are thinking and how they feel watching America burn itself to the ground, because there are people here who feel so entitled to the point where they were willing to storm a government monument and literally do the opposite of everything they say they stand for. Literally the complete opposite of everything they say they stand for. And I just can't imagine how other countries look at us. They are probably looking at us from home and just like, yeah, that American dream is a dub, because I do not want it. If that's what the American dream looks like, self-entitled, privileged, angry, and just unnecessarily angry too, just angry for no reason, or just angry for not getting their way. You know, these are adults, man. That's another thing you think about. These are adults out here acting like children. That's something a kid would do. You know, a kid wouldn't go out and protest in the streets and, you know, look for demand equality. You know what a kid does? They go tear shit up when they're mad and feel like they should not get in trouble for it. I saw a video or a clip of a man. He was genuinely hurt and upset and felt betrayed because they maced him and beat him with batons. I'm just like, what are you, like, he was genuinely upset, which was so interesting. Like, he literally felt like they should just let him in and the rest of them. But before we get too much into that, I got my boys right here. Now, I've had these before, but let me tell you how long it's been since I've had them. It's been a good solid 10, 15 years since I had some of these. So I have no idea what they taste like anymore. So that's why I grabbed them. So these are technically still new to me, because I have no idea what they taste like anymore. I haven't had these since I was a kid. Or was it college? I don't know. I haven't had them since I was a kid. So, because even in college I was still a kid. So, peanut butter crunch. We're going to give these bad boys a second look, because like I said, it's been a while. And we got Cartoon Network classic playing in the background. Dexter's Laboratory, or Laboratory, however you want to say it. I would say he was definitely one of my favorites. Out of the OG Cartoon Network cartoons, I would definitely put him at the top of the list. Him and Dee Dee and the dad. So let's go get him. Just go ahead. Let's try this bad boy again. So I talked about it in one of my last videos about being a hypocrite and how this country is not this country, the people in this country have been extreme hypocrites, have been not who we thought they were. And I think one of the biggest things that we have to really be concerned about is the people who are in your circle. It is crazy to think that there may have been people that you know out there yesterday. It's also crazy to think that I hate that I feel like I'm just talking about white people, because there were some black people out there, you know, tearing shit up. But obviously we go off of what we see and what we saw. The majority, since we're always talking about the majority, we go about the majority, and the majority of them were Caucasian. The majority of them were white people tearing it up. You know, and like I said, I hate that it sounds like I'm focusing on white people, because I grew up with white people. I grew up, the majority of my life, I went to white schools and had white friends. And so I have, and that's what I meant, and that's what I'm saying in my, I think it was my first video, is that I am not black or white when it comes to this whole thing. I'm all about us just being equal and cool with each other, because that's all I've been with people, was just cool with each other. You know, we have fun and we see each other and we go about our way. There's never any hate. It's always love, no matter what color you are. You know what I'm saying? No matter who you supported, we were always cool with each other. And that's what I mean by, you know, I don't feel like we should be picking sides. I feel like I said, I'm not pro-black, I'm not pro-white. I'm literally, why can't we all just be cool with each other? It's so strange to me. But like I said, I think I talked about it in one of my other videos, that if you weren't sure about the people in your circle, I think you are very sure of them now. And I think you should get a good grasp on the kind of people you let into your life, because a lot of those people that we saw on the news out there in the Capitol, it's a good chance you had no idea who they supported, right? It's a good chance you had no idea their views and how they feel about certain things. You had no idea. I feel like a lot of people are about to lose Instagram followers, Instagram friends. People are about to lose friends in real life. You know, some people are about to, you know, cut off their parents, right? You know, some people are about to cut off their grandparents because they can't imagine being a spawn. They can't imagine the idea that I came from you, a person who harbors this much anger and hate towards anyone who doesn't look like you or doesn't believe in what you believe in. It's crazy. One thing y'all need to realize, man, the Generation X, I believe it's X, they are not about to take this shit lying down. They really aren't. You know, these people, you know, when you have so many different people coming out as, you know, as different genders, different sexual orientations, all they're looking for is to be accepted, right? And when you are living in a country who is completely against accepting anything that is not what they know or what they're familiar with or what they grew up with, those people are not just going to stand back and let you disrespect them. And I completely agree with that. You know, I feel like Generation X, I am very much proud to be a witness to, you know, what they did during the Black Lives Matter movement and just anything. You know, they are not going to take the hate anymore because, one, it's literally unnecessary. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people are about to lose a lot of relationships after tomorrow, because what really hurt them is the fact that they carried around Trump flags, they wore MAGA hats, and if you are friends with somebody that may not have been there, right? You may be friends with somebody that may not have been at the Capitol Hill yesterday, but they are still wearing that hat today. That honestly can tell you everything you need to know. You know, these are not Republicans. These are Trump supporters. If you are hanging around with or friends with somebody who is waving that Trump flag in their car today, if you see somebody wearing that hat or rocking that flag today, that should tell you everything you need to know about that person. If you are talking to someone who is literally defending what happened yesterday, it's a good chance that they are not going to be, you know, in your circle anymore. Let's taste these bad boys real quick. You know what? They're crunchy as shit, but they're actually pretty good. See now, I don't know if they changed the recipe. I feel like they didn't, because usually when they change the recipe, they're trash. Like they changed the recipe of Butterfingers. I don't really eat candy that much, but I had one a while back, and I really just stopped eating them because they really did change the recipe on Butterfingers. But yo, these are good. I would buy another box of these. But yeah, I feel like if you're one of those people who are still repping everything that they wore yesterday, there's a good chance you you're gonna lose some relationships. I mean, let's be honest. People are gonna start cutting off people. You know, like I said, I don't get into politics, but I also don't. I'm not interested in associating myself with that kind of anger and that kind of hate. I'm one of the happiest people I know. You may not see it in my face a lot of the time if you saw me in person, because I'm a straight-faced guy, but I'm really so loving and so energetic when you get to know me, when I open up to you. And I'm such a nice person. The biggest thing about me is I'm chill. Man, I just chill. I just lay in the cut and I do my own thing. But when I do interact with people, I would hate to interact with somebody who is, you know, got the anger in the closet when they look at me. You know, they may be cordial with me. They may not be rude or disrespectful to me, but we know behind that door, in their heart and in their mind, they came and saying they're being 10 feet away from me. You know, we don't have time for that in 2021. We don't have time for that ever. You know, and you know, it's just so crazy to see, you know, happen in front of you. You always see it in books. You always see it happen in other countries sometimes. So I think we all know it's a matter of time before it happened here in America. You know, one of the craziest things is that we know damn well that at least 80% of those people don't even live in DC. They made a road trip to go destroy the Capitol. You know, and that is some next level hate to me. You know, you ain't driving miles to go to a concert. You ain't driving miles to go to the inauguration. You didn't drive miles to go see a family member. You didn't drive to go see a football game, though. You drove miles, hours and hours, maybe days for some people, to go destroy something out of hate because you don't want someone to leave office. Someone who has been fueling your fire for the past 4 years. You're not ready for that to be over. You know, you are still ready to keep that hate and anger out here. Keep it going, you know, because you're not ready for it to be over. You know, you did all that to stop the count, and then look at that. You did all that to stop them from counting the votes, and they still counted them bitches yesterday. They're like, nah, we're not going home. We're about to count these votes and get this clown out of here. They're like, call your wives, tell them you're okay, call your husbands, tell them you straight, call the kids, tell them to have a bowl of peanut butter crunch, because they ain't gonna be on dinner tonight. We gonna count these votes so we can get this clown up out of here. I'm looking at my calendar real quick. Boom, 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 boom. 2 weeks from today. No, 2 weeks from yesterday. No. Yeah, 2 weeks from yesterday. That's the crazy part. They said we still counting these bad boys because we need to get this man up out of here. You know, so they did all that for nothing. You know, what did Trump say? He said that you are special, you are loved, but go home. And we're just like, this man literally has no idea. I'm starting to think that he has no idea what he's saying. At first I thought he knew. I feel like this man knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly the demographic he was going for. He knew exactly the type of people he needed to get on his side to become president. Now I feel like he's just saying whatever comes to his mind because he knows these people idolize him. They look at this man like a god. It's like, it literally feels like they are Jesus and then Trump is right next to him. You see him? Like, that's what it feels like, you know. But that's another thing. I'm not gonna get into religion, but I just find it very, it doesn't add up, you know, and make it make sense how these people are Christians and they did something like that yesterday. I saw a meme on, not a meme, I saw a video on TikTok talk about how these radical conservatives who just destroyed the Capitol are going to be on church on Sunday. I'm going to be at church on Sunday, you know, praising God and praising Jesus like they didn't just, you know, destroy some shit on January 6th. You know, so it's just like, this is what, but, you know, like I said, we're not going to get into religion. That's not my forte. It's not my, I'm not qualified to speak on that. You know, I'm still trying to find myself. But it was just wild to see how really angry they truly are about him leaving office. And I don't see it. I don't see what I don't see what we love so much about him. I don't see, you know, we know what they like about him. We know why they want, we know why they want to keep him in. You know, but I'd like to think that there's something deeper than that. You know, because, you know, after Obama's first term ended, you know, there were no people in the streets going crazy, trying to make sure that he's in there a second time. You know, we weren't out here going crazy, or people wasn't out here going crazy, doing everything they can and saying everything they can to make sure that he gets in there a second term. People were just like, we'll let it play out as it plays out. You know, it is what it is. What we gonna do if he loses, right? And you would think everybody else would adopt that idea. If Trump loses, Trump loses. It is what it is. So, again, that's another thing that makes you think, like, this isn't about Trump as a president. This is about Trump as a person. Trump has supported them through and through. Throughout his whole time as president, before the election, he has been by their side. He has been their spokesperson. He has been their guy. You know, because they weren't quiet when Obama was in office, but they definitely weren't out in these streets like that. You know, so, and they just knew that Trump was the guy to get them back in the forefront. But really all you did was woke up a whole nother generation. So, hope you guys are prepared for that. And I guess, you know, we just need to take it as a lesson for, one, the type of people you let into your life, and two, the type of people that's in your life now. I feel like if you have anybody that's associated with, or anybody that's associated with or involved in, or is just simply okay with what happened yesterday, I think you need to reevaluate the kind of people you have in your life. And definitely, do not be afraid whatsoever. By any means, do not be afraid to cut people out of your life. I feel like there is no better reason to cut someone out of your life right now. If they support that, what happened yesterday, January 6th, 2021, if they support any fiber of that, family or not, please do not hesitate to cut them out of your life. Because if they support that, there is one, it's a possibility that they've supported it the whole time that they've known you, and you had no idea. So you probably had somebody hating on you or hating you from day one, right? You've probably had a what they call them, an in the closet racist or bigot just hanging around with you for years, and you had no idea until Trump was in office or until yesterday. Please do not be afraid to cut people out of your life, because if you weren't sure about whether or not Trump supporters were racist or hateful or spiteful or just simply angry for no reason, if you weren't sure about it, just now you know, right? If you weren't sure about it, now you know. So I encourage you to, this would be the year to cut off people and really surround yourself with people who want the best for you, want the best for this country, want the best for the world. Nobody should have to deal with or tolerate the kind of anger and hatefulness that these people have in their hearts. I'm not here to ruffle feathers. I'm not here to start up some BS, but I am here to spread love, and I would hate for you to go your whole life with someone who really does not have your best interest at heart. And like I said, I honestly feel like, I truthfully feel like after yesterday, if you're still rocking one of those hats or one of those flags, you are telling the world, you are telling the country what type of person you really are. And I know it could be just, I'm talking about relationships, friendships, family, but marriages as well. You should not, I feel like it may be time to reevaluate the person you married if they are completely okay with what happened yesterday. Completely okay with the fact that they were, lack of a better term, they were welcomed and greeted. I think we all know and we can all see that a lot of those police officers agree with what they were doing, because they were maced, they were beaten with batons, but somehow they still made it in. That's the first thing that I said to myself when I saw the pictures. How the hell did they even get that close? Right? That's the first thing I said to myself when I saw the pictures. How the hell did they even get that close to the building? There's no way. And to add insult to injury, you see a comparison picture to the National Guard being on the steps of the Capitol when BLM was going on. When BLM was at its peak. And it was like, first of all, the people protesting Black Lives Matter was not going to Capitol Hill anyway. What they need up there? When the people that's killing them are down here in the streets, in the police cars, the blue and white. What the hell they need at Capitol Hill? Right? What they need up there? They protected Capitol Hill like it was goddamn, like the president was in there. And then they needed, their issues are in the streets with the cops driving around killing people. What the hell they need on Capitol Hill anyway? But they protected that bad boy like somebody was getting ready to storm it. When really they probably should have been at the police stations or the Targets. Like, for real, the Targets. They should have been there. People were destroying them, and that's my favorite store, so. Luckily, none of the ones I live by got destroyed, but still. their priorities are all out of whack, and they have been. You see people climbing Capitol Hill walls. Like, what? How did they get that close? And that just makes me think that the police were like, we agree with what y'all are doing. Blue Lives Matter. We're gonna mace a couple of y'all. We're gonna smack a couple of y'all around with this baton, but we're gonna let y'all through. Right? It sounds very conspiracy-ish, but it is what it seems like. Like, how did they get through? They could have easily stopped them, right? But it seems like every cop's gun was on their waist. Every AR-15 was still strapped to their chest or their back. Nobody was really worried about, getting out the rubber bullets. They just said, let me smack you around a little bit, and we don't let you pass through. We don't tell them that y'all won. Y'all beat us. You know what I'm saying? But you can't help but think, if BLM was trying that, it would be a bloodbath. They may not have killed nobody, but there'd be a lot of people in pain right now. They were crying over mace, where people who look like me probably would have got, let's not say probably. I think yesterday opened a lot of eyes. I think none of it is speculation anymore. Like I said, I'm not pro-black, I'm not pro-white, I'm all about equality, but I can't deny the fact that I'm the same color of many hundreds of people that have gotten killed by police officers who just felt like they were doing their job. So I can be as careful as I can be, but a cop can easily pull me over and just decide that he's having a bad day, so he's going to take it out on me. And I'm one of the nicest people you ever meet. I avoid confrontation, not because I'm afraid of it, because I don't know what people are capable of. Or I didn't know what people are capable of. But if the last 4 years are any indication, I know exactly what people are capable of. And that's even more reason for me to avoid confrontation. I do what I can to keep myself out of those situations. I can't control them, but I do what I can to keep myself out of them, and I pray and hope for the best every time I walk out that door. And I think it shouldn't be like that, but it is what it is. It's not going to stop me from living my life, nor should it stop you from living yours. So I say that to say this: be safe out there. Stay as strong as you can. I think if you are angry today as a minority, black, Asian, Hispanic, if you support Black Lives Matter and you're angry today, you're rightfully so. But don't let that anger change you into what you saw yesterday. It's all the more reason for people that look like me and myself to speak out. And you'll probably watch thousands of other videos talking about this same thing. And some things don't need to be beaten to death when you're discussing something. I feel like this is one of those things that you need to hear every perspective that you can, because I feel like you never will truly understand it until you know how someone feels. So, as always, thank you for stopping by, having some cereal with me. Instagram, Twitter's down below. Go get you a sloth shirt. I think sloth is something that we need to embrace right now. Slow down, learn, observe, take risk, and have faith. That is my brand. That is something I've stood by my whole life. That's something I've done my whole life, and I feel like we should all start embracing that today. So, be safe out there, and hopefully the next video will be a little bit more positive, but I can't lie to you. Yesterday stung. But if I know the people that have been protesting and out here trying to make a difference, they're going to make a difference. So, until next time, I guess. Yeah.